Many of us have done it. We see a face in the clouds, a face in a plug socket, a face in burnt toast, or even a face on the surface of the moon. Most people have experienced this at some point. Something ordinary appears to look back. And even when the illusion is obvious, the reaction arrives first. The brain notices a pattern before logic has time to interrupt it. This is called pareidolia. It is the tendency to perceive meaningful images in random or ambiguous patterns, especially faces. At first, it can seem trivial, a quirk of perception, a funny glitch in the mind, but pareidolia reveals something deeper. It shows that the human brain is not a neutral observer. It is an active pattern-detecting system, constantly searching the world for meaning. And sometimes, it would rather invent a face than risk missing one. The human brain is built for speed, not perfection. It is constantly filtering huge amounts of information. Things like shapes, movement, light, contrast, threat, and social cues. If it had to analyze every detail from scratch, survival would become impossible, so it relies on shortcuts. One of the most important shortcuts is facial recognition. Humans are exceptionally sensitive to faces because faces matter. A face can signal safety, or danger, friendship, or hostility, recognition, or rejection. Long before modern life, being able to detect another human presence quickly would have had real survival value. In evolutionary terms, it is often safer to make a false positive than a false negative. Mistaking a shadow for a person costs little. Failing to notice a real person may cost much more. That is the basic logic behind pareidolia. The brain is biased toward detection. Not because it is broken, but because over time, over-detection was often the safer strategy. Faces are especially powerful because the human brain recognizes them with surprisingly little information. 2 dark spots and a line beneath them can be enough. That simple arrangement, eyes above, mouth below, is so familiar that the brain fills in the rest almost automatically. This is why faces appear so easily in architecture, appliances, rock formations, and landscapes. The pattern does not need to be accurate. It only needs to be suggestive. Once the arrangement is close enough, recognition takes over. This is also why pareidolia often feels instantaneous. It is not a careful judgment. It is a rapid impression. And it happens so quickly that awareness comes second. The face seems to appear on its own, even though the brain has actively constructed it. That is what makes the experience so compelling. It feels discovered and not invented. Most examples of pareidolia are harmless. People laugh at a face in a potato, or point out a sad-looking car front, or share a photo of a surprised-looking building. But the same mental tendency can move beyond humor. Humans do not only see faces in objects. They also see meaning in randomness more broadly. A pattern in smoke or a figure in tree bark. A holy image in damp plaster. A message in static and even a presence in the dark. This is where pareidolia begins to overlap with folklore, religion, superstition, and some conspiracy thinking. Not because all such beliefs are reducible to visual error, but because the same cognitive bias is involved. The brain is not satisfied with chaos. It looks for order, and when order is incomplete, it often creates one. That instinct can help humans understand the world, but it can also mislead them. Neuroscience has shown that certain parts of the brain respond strongly to face-like patterns, even when no real face is present. In other words, the brain reacts to the suggestion of a face in ways that resemble its reaction to an actual one. That is why pareidolia is not just imagination in a casual sense. It is measurable perception. The brain is doing real work. It is matching incomplete visual information against one of its most important templates. This matters because it reminds us that perception is never passive. Humans do not simply receive the world, they interpret it. That interpretation usually helps. It allows rapid decisions, social recognition, and efficient navigation through complex environments. but it also means that seeing is not the same as knowing. A face can be perceived before it is verified, meaning can be felt before it is justified, and that gap between perception and truth matters far beyond visual illusions. Pareidolia matters because it exposes a basic fact about the human mind. Humans are pattern-seeking creatures. They are uncomfortable with randomness. They prefer signal to noise, story to coincidence, intent to accident. This tendency helped humans survive. It helped them make quick inferences in uncertain environments, but it also shaped culture, myth, belief, and error. The same mind that sees a face in a cloud may also see a hidden design in unrelated events, or a message in coincidence, or agency where none exists. That does not mean pattern recognition is a flaw. Without it, science itself would be impossible. Science begins with noticing patterns. The real challenge is not to stop seeing them. It is learning when to trust them and when to test them. That is the difference between insight and illusion. In the modern world, pareidolia has not disappeared. If anything, it has become easier to trigger. Image culture surrounds daily life: screens, symbols, logos, memes, visual noise. The brain is flooded with patterns and fragments. At the same time, artificial intelligence, image generation, and manipulated media are making perception even less reliable. That does not mean people can no longer trust their eyes, but it does mean they need to understand how easily the mind completes what is only partially there. Pareidolia is a reminder that humans do not approach the world as blank observers. They arrive with expectations. And they also hold templates, biases, and shortcuts. And those shortcuts are often invisible to the person using them. That is why this small visual phenomenon matters so much. It is not only about faces and things. It is about the mind's constant attempt to make the world feel legible. Pareidolia may seem like a harmless curiosity, a face in a cloud, a figure in a wall, a momentary illusion in an ordinary object, but it reveals something profound. The brain is always trying to turn uncertainty into meaning. Sometimes that instinct helps humans survive. Sometimes it helps them create stories, symbols, and culture. And sometimes it leads them to see what is not really there. The important lesson is not that perception is useless. It is that perception is active. Humans do not merely look at the world, they participate in shaping what they think they see. And once that is understood, a face in the clouds becomes more than a joke. It becomes a clue to how the human mind works. Join us every Sunday for deeper stories, bigger questions, and long-form explorations that go beyond the short videos, because knowledge doesn't stop at 60 seconds.
Thanks for watching. This is 60-second knowledge now extended, because curiosity doesn't stop at 60 seconds. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on TikTok.